Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Awaken to Your Soul Path. I am your host, Barbara, and I am joined today by your other host, Robyn. And today we would like to talk to you about signs. And you might think, signs? What do you mean by signs? Well, what we mean by signs are, we talked about the toolkit last time, the tool belt, and the tools that you could use. So now is it when you are starting to become yourself more and you're traveling along your path towards your soul and you're connecting more with the universe or maybe even with your helpers and your guides. How do you know they're listening? And how do you recognize when they're guiding you or talking to you? Those are the types of signs that we are talking about and that we will be talking about today.
Oh, this is just so much fun. And I'm going to start us off with a story, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
So on Tuesday, it was evening and it was hot. And I thought, I'm going to go outside and read a book. And I had to work at my part-time job on Wednesday. And I had all day had put off making these muffins. And I thought, well, I'll go sit outside, cool off, and then come in and make the muffins. But as I got up with my book in hand, walking towards the back door, it was like, no, you need to make your muffins right now so that you can enjoy your book. And I thought, okay. So in the background, there was a little bit of thunder going on and a little bit of rain started up. And I'm thinking, okay. And I'm pulling out all the ingredients for the muffins. And then the next thing I knew, there was this lightning bolt that came down right over my head. My back door was open. I could see the light. I could have sworn it hit the backyard, but it didn't. And I was like, holy cow, I could have been outside sitting in metal and quite possibly have been electrocuted. And I thought, wow, thank you, spirit guides, for telling me I needed to make the muffins instead of sitting outside. So this is a really good example about your intuition and getting that little message and listening.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I remember one day I was driving my car and I don't really know how it happened, but I found myself taking an exit that I never take, that I also didn't need to take to get to where I was. And at the time, I didn't really know why I was doing it, but I had already taken the exit before I realized what I was doing. So that's how guided I was, because it wasn't a conscious decision for me. And then I heard on the news that there had been a severe accident right where I would have been if I had not taken that accident. I heard that like an hour later, that I would have driven full on into the accident or maybe have been a part of the accident or something if I hadn't taken that exit when I took the exit. And those are also signs of your helpers, your guides, keeping you safe and guiding you towards well, safety in this case. In your case, also, they guided you towards safety with making you do the muffins instead of being outside. It could have ended very differently otherwise.
Yeah, it's just really surprising when we get these confirmations about being listened to. There's times when we don't really feel appreciated, or where is our soul tribe and where are the people that we want to connect with? And when we start asking these questions and putting that energy out there, then these people show up. Like they will show up on your social media and give you a wonderful compliment, or they'll come in a clubhouse room where you're talking and just say how much they appreciate what you do online, and not even realizing you're affecting people, because I've noticed that very few people like our posts anymore or put the little heart on our posts anymore. And the reason is because when they do that now, which is really super sad, they get inundated in their message boxes trying to, take this course, come see me, hire me, and all that other kind of things. So
Yeah.
because nobody is responding anymore, we don't know that what we're doing out there is making a difference.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I hear a lot of people talk about, and I've experienced the same. And people are either not showing up for your lives; they just watch the replay on your YouTube channel because that's easier and safer, and they don't comment on your posts or like them or share them anymore because a lot of people have been taught by marketing gurus, oh, somebody liked your post, you need to send them a message saying, oh yeah, I saw you like my post, what exactly about my post did you like? And when they then respond, then try to figure out what problem they have and if you can sell them your services. And people are getting fed up by that. And it's the same when they register for your events. We've also seen a significant drop in people registering for your events or showing up for your events because they think, it's safer to just see the replay when you send it out, or to just catch your episode on YouTube when you don't know that it's me that's watching your episode, because then you will also not bother me with questions or selling me your services when I am not ready for that, or maybe I don't even want that in general, right?
Yeah, and it is sad because we really, and this is how it's kind of important to listen to our intuition and listen to those messages, because I'm offering a free healing theta Zoom on Sunday, July 10th. And I've had very few people register for that. And it's because they're afraid that they're going to be sold something.
Yes.
Now, absolutely, yes. I am going to tell you what I do afterwards, but the healing session is for everybody that wants to receive some energy healing, some clarity, who wants to talk about the things they're doing. And I'm hoping that people realize that this is done out of a place of unconditional love, and there's so much sadness going on in the world right now that I really want to give some people hope where they can come and talk and discuss what's going on. But again, like you say, it's like, how do we use our skills and talents to promote that and make sure that there's not an agenda to what we're doing?
Exactly. And what I also see is that people either step into imposter syndrome, or they start being harsh on themselves, doubting themselves, thinking, what do I need to do differently? Or what did I do wrong? Or why are not people commenting? It can be very demotivating. And then we have the tendency to ask the universe for guidance when we are a little bit further along our path, and we've learned about the universe, and that the universe always has your back, and that you have spirit guides and helpers. You probably will turn to them. You will ask, why is this happening? Or what can I do to attract my right type of person to me? Or what type of energy do I need to be in to not worry about my event and just be the best healer I can for the people who do show up? You can have multiple questions that you can ask the universe or your guidance, your helpers. But then we are often so busy that we fail to recognize the signs that the universe or helpers send us in response to our question. So we need to learn the subtle language of signs, so that we can interpret the guidance that the universe is sending our way. And we've all been blessed with the connection that allows the universe to communicate directly with us. And we all have the ability to understand the information that's relayed over that connection. However, it is necessary that we learn to pay attention and that we know what to look for.
Well, yeah, sorry. No, it's true, because we do our meditation and we might get some visualization or get some hits, or we might not get anything at all during our meditation. But if we ask the questions, like when we're even in a prayer or meditation, walking in nature, whatever it is, I talk to my spirit guides, I talk to the angels, I have this conversation, even in my meditations, my brain doesn't shut off. I have conversations with my spirit guides. But sometimes the message comes later. But the other day I thought, you know what, I really need to know if the process I'm going through right now is going to bring me the clarity that I need right now. And so I shuffled my oracle cards and I asked 3 questions. What is my situation right now? If I continue on this path, what's going to happen next? And then what's going to be the final outcome? And the 3 cards were all very positive, which made me feel really good about what I'm going through, because I remember in our other one, there's a possibility I might have to sell my house, right? There's this possibility. But the other day I was in my backyard standing there and I got a new message that if I continued on the path I was going now, I may not have to sell it.
Mm.
So by me making the decision to get the part-time job, to start putting my my pathways course and my mentoring on my website, like doing things differently, like you have yours on your website. This is, you guys are way ahead of me on technology. But by making these changes that I had procrastinated about,
Mm-hmm.
it changed my circumstances.
Yes, because you were showing the universe that you were open to receiving.
Mm-hmm.
You gave a clear sign, and that's people often ask me about how do I know what to look for, or what are signs, and it starts by opening your heart and your mind to the universe and inviting its guidance into your life, because otherwise you will not be able to see or correctly interpret a sign. Many of us are blind to the signs that we receive because somehow we expect that our spirit guides speak to us in this booming voice and tell us exactly what we need to hear. But signs are usually a bit more of this earth, and not as direct as a booming voice telling you exactly what you need to do. That's not how it works. So you can then think, how does it work then? What do I need to look for? And things you can look for are like songs that are lodged in your mind, or a number that keeps popping up everywhere that you look after you've asked the universe for guidance. For instance, I know the universe talks to me in song. So whenever I've asked a question, then I would hear, don't you worry about a thing. I'll skip the rest of the singing because I won't do my voice to you, but you get my drift. I'll hear certain songs in my mind that either tell me to not worry, or everything's going to be okay, or more specific songs. That's how I started recognizing is one of the ways that the universe or my spirit guides are talking with me. And the other thing that I mentioned, the numbers, it's like you're seeing 1111 on your clock every time, or I see a lot of 222 or 333, or even 4 3s or 4 8s. Those types of numbers come along. Those are also messages. But sometimes it's even when I go for my daily walk in nature, for instance, then some walks I see so many deer. Other walks, I don't see any deer at all. Sometimes I see a lot of squirrels. Sometimes I don't see squirrels at all. So every time I see a squirrel or a deer, especially when it keeps repeating, I look up what's the spiritual meaning of a deer, or what's the spiritual meaning of a squirrel. And then it has this beautiful message. And then I know they're talking to me. Or it could be like a robin that would be in front of me, literally on my path. And instead of flying away, it keeps hopping. It's like I'm following it on the path towards something. Those are all signs. Those are all ways of the universe trying to connect with you. It can also be that all of a sudden, I had a friend send me a book, and in that book was the exact thing I needed to know, what would be the exact answer to a question that I've been asking. Or sometimes you just suddenly meet someone and they are the person that has the answer to your question. These are all signs, all ways in which the universe reaches out to you, or your guides reach out to you. Right, Robynn?
Yes, Barbara, I love it. And for me, most of it is animals. When I am in flux, or I'm confused about something, or I'm not sure that the direction I'm going is correct, when I go for a walk, then a hawk will show up, or an eagle. And the number one message when I am walking my soul path is the woodpecker. There was one day that out on my tree, out this window, I look out and there were all these brand new baby woodpeckers, learning how to fly. Those, and I've had the robin too. Like, it just blows me away when the robin comes and lands in front of you and just kind of walks with you for a while, because normally they don't do that.
No, exactly.
Yeah, one of my other really strong spirit guides is the raven, the crow. Being a holistic healer, it is a powerful message for healers. It's about changing and new birth, and it's just an acknowledgement that you are a healer.
Yes, exactly. It's so funny that you're mentioning woodpeckers, because I found a baby woodpecker the other day, and it couldn't fly yet. I think it had fallen out of the nest or something, but it was scared, obviously, because it's the big bad world, and you're a little woodpecker. And it kept flapping its wings and trying to walk up the tree because it couldn't fly. But it had found a sort of routine where, with enough flapping and enough walking, it was able to just scale the tree and go back up. So I was so impressed. And then indeed I look up what the message is, and then I think, oh, how beautiful is that? One of my strong spirit animals is the dragonfly. I often have dragonflies that just land on me and sit on me, sometimes for hours and hours. I had one time, I'll never forget, and I was fortunate enough to have my phone with me so I could take pictures, but I had 8 dragonflies sitting on me. I was already blown away by the first, and then there came a second, and then in the end there were literally 8 dragonflies on me, and I thought, how much clearer can the message get, And also a crow or a raven, I've seen that it's dependent on, I think, the phase of your life that you're in, and the type of message that you need to hear, either as an answer to your question, or to prevent you from doing something, or to guide or steer you towards a certain direction. But it's all these types of things, and especially when you're like us, a healer that's in touch with nature, most of your signs will come through nature. But it can also be feathers that you're finding, certain flowers, strangers suddenly talking to you when you're out for your walk. Have you had these types of experiences?
Yes, there were a lot of interesting ones. There was one when I had my dogs. They've both passed, but there was a dog walk, and we would go every day with the dogs. And one day, as we were going down, right in the center of the path, it wasn't there the day before, was this beautiful mushroom that, it was literally that tall. And it was so beautiful. And I got permission, like I asked, and it was, yes, this is for you. So I took it and dried it. And I had that mushroom for years, like it dried. It was so beautiful. But it was a reminder to me that this is when I was learning to connect to the devas of nature. This is when I was learning to work with my map, which is it's your medical assistance program, or your spirit guides on the other side. When I was learning to work with them, communicate with them, it was that process I was going through. And that was the confirmation for me that The things I was experiencing, the things that I was hearing and seeing, within, I don't know, you want to call it within your third eye or within that inner visualization, was actually happening. Because what's really sad is we have so many people who are experiencing this. They think they're crazy. They get put on medications to stop them from receiving these messages and visions, because they you know, they think they're going crazy, and they're not.
Mhm.
This is how we start receiving this communication. So that was my confirmation.
Didn't you tell me that you have a friend who suddenly started hearing light language and had also thought that she was going out of her mind or something similar?
Yes, she woke up. She literally woke up. She was sitting in her bed talking another language. And she phoned me. She says, "What the hell?" And I said, "Yeah, well, you're talking light language." But people, this is what's happening to people right now. They are waking up, and they don't know what to do with the information. They don't know if they're going crazy.
Mhm.
You know, she is gone. She can also see energy, and she's gone to the eye doctor a dozen times thinking there was something wrong with her eyes, until I finally convinced her, you are literally seeing energy. She sees these beautiful, you know how kids blow bubbles?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what she can see. She can
beautiful.
see bubbles and lines, and like, her skills, she has the ability to see and hear. Those are her clairs, the seeing
Mhm.
and the hearing. My strongest ones are the feeling
Mhm.
and the comprehension.
Yeah, yeah. I understand what you mean. Mine are, I'm Claire sentient and Claire feeling also. I think it's the feeling part that's the strongest. So we already talked about signs, signs that there are different types of signs, like songs, or it could also come through the animal world. They can come from strangers. Sometimes they can also jump out of a book in the form of an insightful passage, or it could be an email popping into your inbox with an article about something, a part of it that's exactly what you needed to hear. Signs can be either a direct answer to your question, but other signs may point you in the right direction, or they may warn you of impeding difficulties, or they might be showing you a different way. Yeah, like we talked about in the beginning, you doing your baking and me suddenly taking an exit. So these are all types of signs that you can expect, and not everything that you see or hear will be a sign. But if you are receptive and patient, the signs that you receive will become easier to recognize. And in all of this, the most important thing, I think, is that you listen to your intuition, because a sign can mean many things to different people, and only you can decipher what the sign's meaning is for you. So you need to practice reading your signs and being in touch, and expanding your intuition, and then following their guidance. And then you will see that you start to receive, or maybe not even receive, but at least be aware of more and more signs. I'm still not sure if you're then actually receiving more signs, or that you're just more aware of it. I sometimes think that it works like when you want a new car, you want to buy a new car, and you do your research into your car, and all of a sudden you see that car driving everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you. For me, I journaled a lot because I didn't have anybody to talk to, and we didn't have counselors back then. And so journaling was the way for me to express my opinion on paper and get things out and not hold on to the emotions. And by journaling, when I started reading my journals, I started noticing that I was actually receiving messages. And what is it, like, started recognizing the intuition and started recognizing when I changed where I was going and what I was doing, and what kind of popped up that made me change the direction. And that really helped me understand that I was getting guidance from the other side. It's important to figure out what your signs are, which one are the main ones. And the fun thing is like you say, the spirit guides will send you the ones that you most resonate with. Like for you, it was your dragonflies. For me, it's the birds. Well, I guess my name's Robyn, so there you go.
Exactly. And one of the things that I talked about before is also that the universe talks to me in song. In the beginning, I didn't realize that was the universe talking to me. I just had this song in my mind, and I was singing along with it, and then it would be a different song, but I never really gave meaning to it or paid much attention to it until I started to actively pay attention to what song is it and why this specific song. And then I started to realize and see that it was actually in response to me feeling anxious. And then the "Don't Worry About a Thing" song comes. Or if you need to make a choice and you don't know what choice it is, then I hear a certain song. Or when I worry if I will have enough clients this month, songs will come, those types of things. And it's journaling is actually also a good one for the tool category, yeah? Our subject of last time's session. So if you didn't see our previous episode, that one was about the spiritual tool belt or the spiritual toolbox if you have a lot of tools. And journaling is a great way, especially when you either don't have enough money to hire someone to counsel you, because both me and Robyn, we guide you and we can help you with increasing your intuition, connecting more with yourself, removing blocks and obstacles, and getting more and more in touch with the universe, with your higher self, with your spirit guides. These are all things that both of us can do for you, but not everybody is able to afford it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
And I wanted to also say, when you're talking about the songs, when I first started stepping into my personal power and realizing that as a woman, I had felt so vulnerable and not the ability to stand up for myself. And, the masculine was so overpowering. The one song that always came was Helen Reddy's "I Am Woman." And that became my theme song for quite a few years. And even now when I hear it, I just burst into tears, because it is so emotionally impactful on me.
oh yes, I don't know if it's a highly sensitive thing or an empath thing, but we experience music very differently than the vast majority of people. And people have often asked me, what is your favorite song? And I have to say it changes depending on the phase of my life that I'm in. But for the longest time, my favorite piece of music was an instrumental music song. And people said, how can that be your favorite? They're not even singing in it. But the music speaks to me. And I think the music speaks to you as well. It has, and it's even when they're not singing, then the music still speaks to you. It has a message in that specific song. It felt like it was about my life. It was about my ups and downs and the heartache that I've endured and the things that I've experienced and the growth that came because of it and the things that I've conquered on my way to being the person I am now. That is what that song was about. And it gave me strength and it gave me power every time I heard it. And that made it, especially at that time, my favorite song. I still love it. I don't know if I have a favorite song at the moment, but I'm listening a lot to Melody Gardot at the moment because she kind of speaks to me. And then I have this playlist, and that's also a very interesting thing. I just make a playlist and then YouTube inserts other artists. And then I hear songs that I've never heard before that also really speak to me. And there's this one song that is now really speaking to me of an artist I had never ever heard before. And it's so spot on for what I'm going through right now. And it's not just the words that she's singing, but it's also the instruments that have been used, and the overall feeling, the emotion that's in music, because music to me is emotion. And I love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I use music a lot to heal. I love going on YouTube and listening to those frequencies that heal pain, and the frequencies that'll raise your vibration and get rid of negative emotions. Um, it's, and then I also like to listen to the chanting. Om
Yeah.
Mani Padme Om, and you know, the chanting. And I love the Tibetan singing bowls.
Yes.
You know, and so when I'm in a meditation, if I put on the Tibetan singing bowls, and they have ones that do the chakras, so as you're doing it, it's opening up your chakras. I get into a much deeper state of meditation, and I can get out of that head chatter on the days that I need to really get out of the head chatter. But music, yes, music is very powerful.
Yes, indeed. That was where I was going through music therapy. Some of the frequencies that you're talking about are, for instance, the solfeggio frequencies, and they vibrate at different the level of love, or the level of healing, or the level of intuition, the level of communication. There are different ones, and I often listen to them sleeping at night. I have them playing the entire night, and then I wake up a lot different than when I went to bed, and different in a positive way. Otherwise, it's not worth the point of doing it. But yeah, music therapy, but also sometimes just singing, having songs that you sing along with, or songs. I recommend people that I work with to have their playlist, like a happy playlist, or an energy playlist, or a crying playlist. Sometimes you feel that you need a good cry, but it's not coming. Then you can put on your sad song cry playlist, and then just cry your eyes out, and rid yourself of stuck energy, for instance. But it can also work the other way around. If you're constantly feeling down and sad, and you have worries, and you don't know what to do, then you put on your happy music with the songs on it that just instantly make you happy. No matter what mood you're in, it's just, you cannot sit still, you will have to start moving. And the same is with your energy playlist. I like to listen to my energy playlist whenever I have like a big event, to just amp up my energy and make sure that I'm in a positive frame of mind with enough positive energy to step into my event and lead it the way I want to lead it. So these are both signs, but also extra tools that we are now talking about. So I think we're on track of really bringing value to the people that are listening today. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. This has been really fun, because sometimes we don't recognize that our go-to is actually a spiritual tool we use. We don't often give it credit. Like when I drove all the time, I loved country music, and I would sing those country songs, and cry with those country songs, and rage with those country songs.
Yes.
And it was very powerful for me. It really got me out of it got me sometimes in a good mood before I got to work, and it got rid of my negative mood by the time I got home from work. But yeah, all of these things are important, and sometimes we just don't recognize how special it is that our spirit guides are helping us discover what we need. And I love, that you took a turn off before you even realized. And those things have happened to me. I've done things and I'm like, well, why would I do that? I was going to do something else. And now when something like that happens, I just go, well, I guess that was meant to be. And I don't even try to discern it anymore. I just accept the fact that if I was going down one way and the next thing I know, I find myself somewhere else, well, that's because that's what spirit wanted me to do.
Yes, exactly. And that's also tapping into your flow you have in multiple levels. This is, I think, the more spiritual flow, where you just, you're very much one with everything there is, and you are steered without you actively steering. Somebody else is steering, like taking the exit or baking instead of going outside. And the more you allow that, so it's the word allowing again, we've talked about that before, but this is also about allowing, following your intuition. It's about trust, it's about faith, and it's about allowing things to come into your life, allowing yourself to be led to do something else than that your mind conjured up that was what you were going to do. And really starting to trust that there is a higher power out there, and that higher power wants you to succeed, and that there are guides that help you, that are there for you, that you're not doing everything by yourself, even though it might feel like that. Because for the longest time, I felt like I was completely alone, and I didn't believe all of this that we're sharing today. So if you are in that frame of mind, then, I understand. I've been there. But that doesn't change the fact that there definitely is a higher power out there, and you don't have to call it God. You can call it the universe, you can call it spirit, you can call it source. There are many words for it. But for you to start living the path of your soul and to really awaken to everything you can be and everything you can do, you need to find a way to allow the universe to help you, to allow your guides to be there for you, and to start trusting that they are there.
Yeah, and it is also about surrendering to new possibilities, because when I had to take a really hard look at my finances, now everybody's in the same situation. Things have doubled, some places tripled, and our wages have not. So we need to surrender to new possibilities. And the moment I surrendered to the possibility of I might need to sell this house, all kinds of options opened up for me, because I surrendered into allowing the universe to show me different ways for me to get where I needed to go.
Yes.
And like it's been kind of tough, because I'm 63 and I'm on my feet for 8 hours a day now, which is something I haven't had to do since I was, I did that in my 20s and early 30s, but just to experience the physical demands on my body again has really made me appreciate that my body, even though it's in pain, is adjusting to this. It's becoming stronger and more flexible. And this is something that I had envisioned for myself anyways. I had wanted to get back into shape. And this was one of the ways of me being, I'm going to use the word, I was going to use the word force, but gently guided to stop procrastinating. And so here I am getting into shape by doing a 9 to 5.
You, and that's exactly what it's about. It's surrendering to what can be. And sometimes that means that even though you want to be a business owner, you need to open yourself up to other possibilities. So that means that you have to apply sometimes for a job or a side job or a part-time job or maybe even a full-time job until something else comes along or your business is afloat again. Or indeed surrendering to the possibility, oh, okay, I might need to sell this house, or even, okay, maybe I just have to quit my business for the time being. And these are tough decisions because, well, for me, everything inside me was screaming, I don't want this. This is what I want. Why is that not working? I want that. But sometimes when you want something too much, it can also stay away. Desire is a repellent instead of an attractor, is one of the lessons that I had to learn the hard way. And when you surrender to what can be, then you think, well, yeah, maybe I need to sell. Maybe I don't have to sell. It can be, yeah. And then just see what the universe brings. If you can be okay with either option, and then truly be okay, not okay here, but okay here, then the universe brings you new things and opens you up to new things, and then you need to allow those things in and also allow yourself to receive them, which is also something that can go wrong. But I think that that is the perfect subject for another one of our episodes. What do you think, Robyn?
I agree. Because, you know, you and I are both on this journey together where, you know, we were able to support ourselves almost 100%, you know, being entrepreneurs. And then it got to a position where we can't do it anymore. And so many of the wonderful people in our spiritual community are going through the same thing. We're not alone.
Yes.
Spirit has asked us to look at things differently. They've asked us to go back out into the public, go back out and be a part of our community. We really need to be present to what's going on in the world and not be hiding in our homes anymore. And I'm going to use the word hiding because I created a beautiful little sanctuary here. And I love the energy I created. And because of that, and because I don't watch the news, because I don't have a TV, you know, the world got away from me.
Yeah, I had the exact same thing happen to me. I also don't watch television in general, no news, no newspapers, no radio. And especially with the lockdowns, I didn't really go anywhere. You work from home on your laptop. And I go in nature every day, but then preferably not to meet other people. So then you indeed you get into this bubble of your own, and I had the world get away from me as well. And yeah, it's the energy that we're in. So whoever is listening to this and you're in the same type of situation, we have a group that meets weekly where we talk about these things and where we support each other in going through these times. And it's been one of the best things that have come out of this last couple of years, the connections with the other like-minded people and being able to talk about these things and sharing about these things, and you know, knowing I'm not alone. I'm not the only one going through this. I'm not the only one thinking these things. I'm not the only one that struggles for every now and then, and to just brainstorm solutions and ideas. It's been amazing.
It has, and I'm really grateful for it because we get together once a month and have a healing, is a free healing. And again, I'm offering that free healing on July 10th for anybody that wants to come and just receive some healing energy. We're going to be doing theta. We have a number of us who do Reiki. We have a number of us who do light language. We will be doing whatever it is that each person requires. You will be given the opportunity to speak and ask for specifically what you want. So I'm hoping that we will be able to attract those who would like to participate on this. And Barbara, thank you for a wonderful conversation again. I'm so grateful that you and I met in 2019 because we have been an amazing support system for each other.
Most definitely. And I obviously registered for your event. I will also make sure that all the things that we talked about, the links to all the things that we talked about are here. We both offer free coffee chats, so I'll make sure that those links are below here as well. Also the link to your event, the link to the weekly group that we are in together. We'll make sure that everything is in the show notes of this episode. And for today, I think there's nothing left than to wish you, viewer or listener, an amazing rest of your day, and inviting you to join us for our next talk and our next episode, and to say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.